The morning sun spilled through the dusty blinds of Miller's Diner, painting long golden stripes across the checkered floor. It should have been a peaceful morning, the kind where the hum of the coffee machine and the soft chatter of regulars wrapped around you like a blanket. But peace doesn't last long in places where pain hides behind every smile. And for Hannah Brooks, peace had become something she only heard about, never lived. She'd been working double shifts since her mother's medical bills started piling up, running from table to table with a smile that barely held together. Her hands trembled as she carried trays heavier than her hope, but she didn't complain. She couldn't. Life had taught her that silence was safer than attention. If you believe that kindness can still change the world, that even a small act of courage can turn darkness into light, then please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Journal. Let's spread these stories of second chances together. It was barely 9 a.m. when trouble swaggered through the door. 3 men, loud, unkempt, and already reeking of cheap beer, stumbled in as though they owned the place. Their boots thudded against the tile, their laughter slicing through the calm hum of the diner. Hannah froze for half a second, clutching her order pad, before plastering on her trained smile and stepping forward. "Morning, folks. Booth or counter?" she asked, her voice steady despite the unease in her chest. The tallest one, with greasy blonde hair and a leather jacket patched with skulls, sneered. "Booth. And make it fast, sweetheart. We don't got all day." His 2 friends snickered as they slid into the cracked red vinyl seats. Hannah turned on her heel, pretending not to notice the way their eyes lingered on her. She'd dealt with men like this before. Men who thought a uniform gave them permission to forget respect. When she brought over their coffee, one of them accidentally brushed her wrist. She jerked her hand back, biting down the urge to speak up. "Easy there, sugar," the man grinned, leaning back. "We're just having some fun. No need to act like a princess." The diner had grown quiet. An elderly couple looked away. The cook behind the counter, an older man named Gus, froze mid-scramble, his spatula trembling slightly. Everyone knew the type, troublemakers who thrived on fear. Hannah tried to focus on her breathing, reminding herself that she needed this job. Her mother's next chemotherapy session depended on it. So she swallowed her pride and nodded. "Enjoy your coffee," she whispered, turning away. But as she walked off, the blonde one's voice echoed across the diner. "Hey, we're not done here, Btch. Come serve us like you mean it." The word cut through her like glass. Every laugh, every snicker from their table made her blood boil. She stopped, her hands tightening into fists at her sides. Tears threatened to spill, but she blinked them back. Before she could react, the sound of heavy engines roared outside. The windows rattled slightly as 4 motorcycles pulled into the gravel lot. Every head in the diner turned. Through the glass, Hannah saw them. 4 bikers, their black leather vests gleaming under the sunlight, their helmets reflecting the morning glare. They parked side by side, moving with quiet confidence. When they stepped inside, the air changed. The leader, a tall, broad man with dark stubble and kind eyes, scanned the room. His vest read Ironheart's MC. He nodded once at Gus, who gave a subtle, knowing look in return. "Morning," the biker said calmly. "We'll take some breakfast." The thugs laughed under their breath. "Oh, look, more tough guys," one of them muttered. "What's this, a costume club?" Hannah's stomach churned. She hurried to take the biker's orders, trying to keep things from escalating. "What can I get you?" she asked softly. The leader smiled, a warm, genuine smile that felt completely out of place in the tense air. "Whatever's hot and fresh, sweetheart, and maybe a cup of coffee." His voice was low but respectful, the kind of tone that instantly put her at ease. She nodded, almost relieved, and turned toward the kitchen. Behind her, one of the thugs barked, "Hey, we called you first. Don't make us wait, Btch." The word slammed into the room again, sharper this time. One of the bikers, a red-bearded man with tattoos on his arms, slowly set his mug down. "You watch your mouth," he said quietly, his voice steady like thunder before a storm. The blonde thug stood up, puffing out his chest. "What do you say, old man?" The biker turned his chair slightly. "You heard me." The diner went silent. Even the clock seemed to stop ticking. Hannah froze by the counter, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. The blonde thug smirked and took a step closer. "You gonna do something about it?" The leader of the bikers stood, his full height casting a long shadow over the booth. Yeah, he said slowly, I am. It happened fast. The thug lunged, but before anyone could blink, the biker caught his wrist mid-swing and twisted. A sharp snap echoed through the diner, followed by a yell of pain. His friends jumped up, chairs screeching across the floor, but two more bikers blocked their path. You don't talk to women like that, the leader said coldly. Not here. Not anywhere. The thugs stumbled back, their bravado melting into fear. One of them spat out a threat, but the look in the biker's eyes silenced him. They grabbed their friend and scrambled toward the door, mumbling curses as they disappeared into the sunlight. The door slammed shut, leaving behind a stunned silence and the faint smell of motor oil. Hannah stood frozen, tray in hand, not knowing whether to cry or thank them. Her body trembled from adrenaline, from fear, from relief. The biker turned toward her and softened his tone. You okay, sweetheart? She nodded shakily. Why, yeah. Thank you. I didn't know what to do. He smiled gently. You don't have to fight every battle alone. Sometimes good people still show up. He glanced toward Gus, who gave him a nod of gratitude. When Hannah brought them their food, her hands were still trembling. The leader noticed, his expression softening even more. You work here alone a lot, he asked. She sighed, sitting on the edge of the counter. Most days. I've got bills, my mom's sick. I'm just trying to keep up. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded stack of cash, placing it quietly beside his plate. That's for you, not for the food. Her eyes widened. I can't take that. You can, he said firmly. Consider it a thank you for working hard when life's not easy. Her lip quivered, and she looked down, wiping at her eyes. I don't even know your name. Name's Luke Carson, he said with a grin. Iron Hearts. We stop by sometimes when we're riding through town. He motioned to his crew. If anyone gives you trouble again, you tell Gus to call us. As the morning went on, the bikers ate quietly, laughing among themselves, making the diner feel lighter than it had in months. When they finally stood to leave, Hannah followed them outside. The sunlight caught in her hair, and for the first time in a long while, she smiled without forcing it. Thank you, she whispered, for showing up. Luke looked back at her. Kindness goes both ways, Hannah. You've been fighting alone too long. Don't forget there's still good people out here. She watched as they revved their engines, the sound echoing down the road like a promise. As they disappeared over the hill, she turned back toward the diner. Inside, the customers were slowly returning to their meals, and Gus gave her a proud nod. That afternoon, Hannah called her mother at the hospital. Mom, she said, her voice trembling with emotion, you won't believe what happened today. Some bikers came in, and they stood up for me. They didn't even know me, but she stopped mid-sentence, her voice cracking. Her mother's gentle voice came through the line. See, sweetheart, not all angels have wings. Some ride Harleys. Hannah laughed through her tears. The world hadn't changed, but something inside her had. That small act of courage, strangers stepping in when she needed help the most, reminded her that goodness wasn't gone. It was still alive, roaring down open roads, waiting for moments like this. By the end of the day, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Hannah stood outside the diner, watching the fading light reflect off the sign. For the first time in years, she felt something she thought she'd lost. Safety, hope, and a quiet belief that life could still surprise her in beautiful ways. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that there's still goodness in unexpected places, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Together, we can keep these real stories of courage and compassion alive. Special request, comment below. There's still good in this world. If you believe one kind act can change everything, because sometimes the heroes we need aren't the ones in uniforms or suits, they're the ones who walk into a diner, hear a cry for respect, and decide they won't stay silent.